Football season is upon us, and we'll talk about it next on Conversation. Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to Conversations. I'm your host, John Nelson. Another AISD football season is already upon us, and we start with the Arlington Colts and head coach Scott Peach in year number 13. Unfortunately, Arlington did not make the playoffs last year for the first time in 7 seasons. And Scott, I would think that's incentive enough for your squad over the spring.
Well, we've had a chip on our shoulder now for about 9 months, and it's a deal where we felt like we had a good enough football team last year to make the playoffs, and we didn't. And we broke a string, like you mentioned, of 7 years of being in the playoffs, and had several deep runs during that time too. We've always taken pride in playing good football, and you know, our kids are hungry. That's the exciting thing for us right now, is all through off season, all the way through this summer. This senior class we have really wants to get us back to where we need to be, and so it's important to us. 26
letterman return. You lost a lot of skilled personnel, and you got a quarterback that you really like.
Kalen Day is going to be a junior, and he's really special at spinning the football. He's got the moxie that you want at quarterback, where nothing really phases him. And the key with him, he does a great job of getting the ball to the places that you want the football to be and getting in the hands of the guys that need it. His class is very talented. That's our junior class. And so we'll be young in a lot of our skill position areas this year, but we're certainly excited for the future.
You got the same non-district schedule, and when the season gets underway, you'll be at Cowboy Stadium once again to play Bowie.
Well, to start with, we've got Duncanville. Reggie Samples has taken over that program, coming from Skyline. He does an amazing job with his program, so that's going to be a big one to start off with. Jerry Stanford's taken over at Marcus for his 2nd year, and they've got a couple of big-time Division I football players in their program ready to play. And then I'll play my old friend Kendall Miller, but we're going to play him the 3rd week against Lakeview Centennial. And then our district is going to be exceptional as always and very gifted and talented. But Bowie's an exciting time. We had a chance to set that up last year, and Coach Darman and I kind of did that on our own, setting that game in at AT&T Stadium. Now Coach OZ, our new athletic director, has taken over, and he's got all of us playing at AT&T Stadium that week. So it's exciting for all of our Arlington schools to be able to play in there on Friday and Saturday. But the Bowie Vols against the Arlington Colts on that night, Friday night, 8 o'clock, the premier game. We're excited about it.
Coach, aside from the players that take part in the 7-on-7 competition, the Colts also have a big man competition, the offensive line and the defensive line this year. How did they grade out, and who will have to step up defensively?
Well, first of all, Coach Philip Nelson's been with me for all 13 years at Arlington High. He's my offense coordinator. And he has done a tremendous job of organizing our big man competition. In fact, Nike hired him and flew him out to Miami and LA this year to run the big mans for them out there. But we were state champions for 5 years in big man. We lost it the last couple of years, but we got 3rd this year, and I'm really proud of our kids. 7-on-7, we were very successful this year also in the summertime. We went down to the state tournament and made it to the winner's day over there. Talking about our O-line and D-line, Josh Hudson comes back, Oscar Gonzalez comes back, Jordan Johnson comes back, and so we're really excited about our offensive line. Deuson Sproles, our tailback, and Alan Braxton are both back, and so we feel good about those kids and that senior class and all returning starters for us. Jason Christopher on the defensive side is the only D lineman returning from last year, but very athletic. Fortunately, he has a twin brother named Taven. And Taven, I moved from receiver to defensive end this year, so we're going to have twin towers out there at ends that are brothers. And then we got a couple of sophomores lined up at defensive tackle. But the big key there is that we've got some senior leadership in both groups of O-line and D-line, and excited about their play.
Finally, Coach, a non-football question. The Peach name will be firmly entrenched in Arlington history now with Peach Elementary. That's a family thing that I know you're very proud of, and when you think of Peach Elementary School now, what do you think about?
Well, the first thing is my 4th grade son and 1st grade daughter, Cooper and Campbell Peach, have been at Duff Elementary, that feeds into Bailey, that feeds into Arlington High. And the first thing they said to me is, Daddy, we're going to Peach Elementary School. And I said, well, I know you want to, but I'd like to keep you over here with me, you know, in the Arlington High district. But could not be more proud of my parents. Eddie Peach resonates with greatness in athletics and football for 40 years in AISD. And a lot of people don't know, but my mother, Debbie Peach, was Teacher of the Year at the elementary level at Rockmore Elementary, at the junior high level at Shackford Junior High, and then at Lamar High School. And that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
And so for those two names to be forever set in Arlington is great. And I got to do a lot of behind the scenes things with that situation leading into that day. And when Superintendent Cavazos and several of the school board members, Bowie Hogg, were there, my parents were overwhelmed and very humbled, and probably the proudest moment, or one of the proudest moments of their lives. So thank you to AISD and everybody involved with that, and we're really excited about it.
Coach, good luck to the Colts this year. Should be another exciting season.
Thanks, John. We can't wait to play.
Head coach Danny DeArmond guiding the Bowie Volunteers. He's in year number 3. The Vols last year advancing one round, finishing 7-4. And coach, the playoff game, it seemed like, was a contest that would never end. 55-52 in overtime to San Angelo Central. Whoever had the ball last was going to win that game, I guess.
You know, that goes down to something that we've taken as a way to motivate our kids, and 3rd and 3 situation that we were in, 4th quarter, all we have to do is get a first down. We get the first down, we can run out the clock and the ball game's over. And we had a mental breakdown and jumped off sides, went backwards. That's what allowed San Angelo to get the ball back and go down to score with 4 seconds or 7 seconds on the clock. Went into double overtime and lost a game that we should have won. So during the offseason, we've used that 3rd and 3 as motivation. You know, being in the moment, not wanting to allow that to ever happen again. To be up 21 points and lose a playoff game, that was our chance at going to the next round. And if we go to the next round, we got a great chance of playing Southlake in what is the 3rd round.
Yeah.
So we developed a mentality from that, and hopefully we'll see a difference in this next season in our kids and understanding the moment that we're in. Because if we had been on the same page, 3rd and 3, you know, our running back doesn't get touched when he goes through the hole. So if we'd have stayed on sides, it was a split second, but that mental breakdown cost us a chance at going to the next round. So.
Coach, you have a new quarterback in Donovan Davenport. What about his skills?
Donovan is 6'2", I believe, 6'3". He's 205, big kid with a very, very strong arm. He's developed his arm from the time that he came in as a freshman to where he is now is tenfold. Had him work with Quarterback Ranch through the summer, and he's developed his skills. He's thrown, I would say, 90% of the days this summer. Been out there with the receivers. He's got the ability to change a game because he's so smart, and he's got great size. He's going to be able to run the football for us and get tough yardage because of his build. Throws the ball well on the run, but it's going to be great having a quarterback. You know, they're going to take some bumps early, like we did defensively last year. But as he gets into his groove, and by the time district hits, I feel like that he's going to be able to lead us, and we're going to be able to rely on his legs and his arm, along with his mental capacity.
Defensively, Coach, you have to feel good. 8 starters are coming back.
Absolutely. We like I said, we took some bumps last year because we had 5 sophomores that played. 4 of them started, and another one rotated and played about 50% of every game. But it was a learning experience for us. Those guys coming back it's going to be huge. The mental part of the game, the physical part of the game that they had to endure, cost us some yardage, cost us some points, but you know, it was a learning experience. And now we come back, and those guys are veterans, and they're just juniors. So we feel real good about that. Have a returning all-district middle linebacker, got a returning all-district defensive tackle that's only going to be a junior. Got what I feel like is maybe the fastest corner in the area, in Adrian Carr. He just got back from Virginia, got second in nationals in the 400-meter hurdles. So we feel pretty good.
The way the schedule plays out, Coach, at Bowie, you'll play 2 games and then have a bye week. That can really be an advantage early in the season.
It's a great advantage this year, as was last year, because that's right after our Cedar Hill game. We get a chance to play one of the top teams in the country, and then directly after we get a break and we get to regroup and prepare for our homecoming game, which is Colleyville Heritage.
And again, you'll play Arlington High at AT&T Stadium. What was that like for the kids last year?
It was awesome. It was awesome for everybody, the coaches, the kids, the community, to get to go out there on that stage and play against a rivalry. And I know on their side of things it was the same way, but it's exciting to get to, anytime we get to play on that type of stage, it's exciting. And our kids loved it this year. Whenever I told them we were back, they were fired up. You know, can't wait to play that game.
Now, Danny, volunteer football is here. Good luck to you and Bowie.
Thank you, John.
Now, there's a new coach guiding the Lamar Vikings, but a familiar face in AISD football history. Laban DeLay was a former Arlington Colt. He's back in the district. Lamar last year finished 8-3, advanced a couple of rounds. And Laban, you're taking over a team with 13 starters back. You got to feel good overall.
Oh, absolutely. Other programs that I've entered, I've had to go in there and kind of flip things around and kind of rebuild a little bit. Not this situation. You know, the tradition that Lamar has, the previous coaching staff, they've done a great job. And so I'm walking into a pretty good situation. I just have to make sure everybody stays healthy right now.
You come to Lamar from South Grand Prairie. How much newness have you brought, or did you have to change that much over the spring, or just keep things as they are?
Well, you know, I have my core beliefs, and I have, so with those core beliefs come hard work ethic, you know, teamwork, detailed execution, physically dominate. So we spend a lot of time in the weight room. But as far as scheme-wise offensively, I mean, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible, what they've been having success with. Defensively, there's been some changes, but the kids have bought in, and the coaching staff that I retained and the coaching staff that I brought in has all jump on board. I feel like I've got the best coaching staff in the state of Texas.
I was going to say, how many staff changes were made, and who did you bring over?
I brought 4 in. One, a defensive coordinator, someone that I worked against for a few years. Another one as an assistant head coach. He's been an offensive coordinator for 16 years, and he's been coaching for 28. Another former Colt, Cam Sanders, is going to be the offensive coordinator. So, and then another defensive coordinator. So what we have to do is put our egos aside, because on the offensive side, I've got 4 out of the 5 coaches have been offensive coordinators, and on the defensive side, 2 out of the 5 have been. So put our egos aside and do what's best for Lamar Vikings.
Yeah, you're going to have to stop somebody on defense.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
You're going to have to with this district.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, other places that have been at South Grand Prairie, you mentioned, you know, whenever you match up against DeSoto and Duncanville and Cedar Hill, you got to find a way to stop those guys, and it's not going to be any different here. I mean, it's going to be affordable opponent every Friday night, and we're going to have to find a way to stop them.
Coach, a lot of eyes on perhaps one of the best quarterbacks in the state, Shane Buechele. There's no limit to what he can do. Over 2,500 yards last year, 35-plus touchdowns, or some unbelievable number like that.
Right.
But I know he went to a camp, or several camps out west.
Yep.
What is his potential? But, you know
Shane's he's got a great arm, great accuracy, but he's just a natural leader, and he's good around his teammates. He leads them in the right direction. But you mentioned he went to that Elite 11 camp out in Oregon, and they first came to Craven back in March, I think, and he made it past that round, made it past the second round, and made it to Oregon that 3rd round. And he's just an unbelievable kid. You know, his character, the family, he's just got both feet on the ground, and his leadership and his composure is what's going to take us.
He's committed to the University of Texas. He can run, he can throw. Who are the primary receivers?
Kofi Boateng is one of the receivers. Yeshai Yablon is another receiver. Draven Cantley. And then we've got Trey McCallum. We've got several other guys that are going to be thrown in there. We got a few weapons both at the running back position and the wide receiver position that Shane can get the ball to. So we're excited about that.
How about your non-district schedule? Who do you play?
We have Richland. We open up with Richland on a Thursday night. And then we have Keller Central at Keller Central. 2 first games are on the road. And then we have our first home game is homecoming against Justin Northwest.
Laban, how visible are you going to be at Shackelford and Nichols and a lot of the JV events at Lamar?
Again, that's one of my core beliefs is this spring I spent 4 out of 5 days at one of the 2 junior highs, and I'm going to continue that. And I had one of my assistants was at the other junior high opposite of me. So I'm committed to building a strong foundation at the junior high. So that's not going to stop. I'm going to be down there every day, and then I'm going to be at their games on Mondays and Wednesday nights. So the North Arlington community is a special place, special community. Arlington, you mentioned, this is home for me. Coming back home has been very fun. But that north side, you know, it's special. And getting entrenched with those people, it's been fun, and I look forward to continuing.
You were green and white, you were gold and red, now you're navy blue and gold.
I'm all blue and gold now. I'm all blue and gold now. That's what I've been telling people, and excited about the opportunity, but and not just for this season, but about building a program, you know, and that's why I'm committed, and the staff is committed to building that foundation at the junior highs and doing things right down there at the 7th grade level, and actually getting into the elementaries too. You know, playing 7-on-7 from 4th grade up, you know, is what we're looking at doing. So it's about being involved in the community, and that's what I'm going to be here for.
Well, Coach, I know you can't wait for the season to begin. Good luck to the Vikes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, John.
The Martin Warriors ready to embark on another football season. A regional semifinal appearance last year for Martin. Overall 10-3, losing to the eventual state champion Allen Eagles. But Coach, you gave it everything you had that game at North Texas.
Oh, always. That's one thing that I think you can count on every time we take the field is our team's going to be well prepared. Our kids are going to play their tails off, and we're at the point in our program where we feel like every time we step on the field, we've got a great chance to win.
You're in season number 10. You have 25 Letterman returning. Where is the strength this year?
I think there's 2 things, really, John. One is culturally. The best thing about where we are, having been in a program now for 10 years, is that at Martin High School, the older players hold the younger players accountable. They teach them this is the way that we do things. It's not about you, it's about the team. And they take them under their wing and help them grow very quickly, and that accelerates the process in regards to development of the program, and for that matter, the development of the human being, which is not just blocking and tackling, but actually help them accomplish their goals. The flip side of that is I think you have to look to a senior class that has a number of players that have now been 3-year starters. Eric Walker is an LSU baseball commit. While certainly he's traveling both the country and the world right now in preparation for a potential spot in the Major League Baseball draft, he's still doing his push-ups and sit-ups and throwing those footballs too. And to have a 3-year starter at quarterback, I'm ecstatic about Eric and what he is. Not only as a great athlete and a highly sought-after baseball recruit, but he's a football guy, make no mistake about it, and we love our quarterback as much as anybody anywhere in the state. Nick Smith, the all-time leading rusher in the history of Martin High School, is closing in on 2 major milestones in Arlington ISD. He has a great opportunity to become the all-time leading rusher in the history of Arlington ISD this year as a senior, and he's just a few touchdowns away from being the all-time leading scorer in the history of Arlington ISD. And
yeah, Nick Smith last year, Coach, he's a game changer. I mean, your offense begins and ends with Nick Smith. How many touches would you like to see him get per game? Because he had over 1,800 yards last year.
Right. I don't know that we can put an exact number on the number of touches. What we'd like to try to do is diversify his touches. Nick is a terrific blocker. Obviously, he's a dynamic ball carrier, but he also may have the best set of hands on our football team. And so our offensive coordinators mindset right now in our offensive staff is that we're going to use Nick Smith in a number of different areas offensively, and as always, we're going to use him significantly on special teams as well. We're going to get as many touches in that boy's hands as we can.
Same non-district schedule as far as teams you had last year? We
do. We scrimmaged the defending state champion Allen Eagles at our place on Friday, August 21st at 10 o'clock. We opened against DeSoto on ESPN2 on Saturday afternoon, August 29th, and then we go to Skyline and then South Grand Prairie. So I would put our challenging schedule up against any high school football programs in the country.
Coach, I don't know if you've thought about this, and I don't think it's ever happened in city history, but you will play in 7 different stadiums this year. 10 regular season games, but 7 different venues. That's kind of unusual.
Well, you know, at Martin High School, we get on a bus every time we play. You know, we don't have a stadium on our campus, and so we've become nomadic in regards to where we play our football games. But what an unbelievable experience for our players. You know, we played 2 games in AT&T Stadium last year. We have one scheduled now. We're going to play in an ESPN Kickoff Classic game. You know, just those type of experiences are the things that kids remember for the rest of their lives. And obviously, I'm very proud that our program's at a point where people are asking us to take part in those types of things, because I think it's a memorable experience that our kids will hang on to for the rest of their lives.
Finally, Bob, you touched upon it earlier, but the best thing about coaching at Martin, I know you like to see those freshmen improve as a sophomore, likewise as a junior, but overall, if you could pinpoint one thing you really like about Martin.
It's the people. And I mentioned nomadic. Coaches by nature are nomadic. I'm going into a decade in Southwest Arlington. It's where my wife and I want to raise our family. It's where my 10-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter get out of the car every morning and run into Little Elementary School because they love it so much. And it's just a place that takes great pride in our community's greatest resource, which is our kids. It's exactly where we want to call home, and I think our football team has become a great source of pride for our community.
Coach, a lot of eyes on the Martin Warriors this year. Good luck.
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate you.
Well, the Sam Houston Texans getting ready. Head coach Anthony Chris at year number 5. Sam Houston last year 7-4, a playoff team. And Anthony, the carryover effect, I would imagine, just paid dividends already.
Oh yes, it's total excitement. You saw the difference in the summer workouts, the expectations, all those things coming off a playoff first round loss to Odessa Permian, but the excitement is there. The Sam Houston Texan Nation is alive and well and very excited. I can't go anywhere. I can't go in a grocery store. I can't go to the mall. I can't go anywhere. Have anything Sam Houston on. Everybody wants to know what it's going to be like next year for the Texans.
Okay, how's your depth this year?
Depth is going to be pretty good, actually, because we have 12 all-district performers returning, which is probably the best I've had in some time. And so we're pretty deep at each position. JV team had a great, successful season, not necessarily in wins and losses, but the way they competed, not being blown out in any game. The JV defense was great, so those guys coming up going to provide great depth. So very excited about seeing what's going to happen here coming up in the next couple of weeks.
The Texans run the spread, but your rushing attack could be very good.
We run the spread. As I tell everybody, it's no secret. We spread to run. We don't spread. We're not going to throw it 50 times a game. We're not going to throw it 60 times a game. We go fast, but we spread to run, and that's what we do. We have a plethora of backs who can run the football. It's been very successful for us, and so with the quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, try to get everybody involved in the run game, and we've been very successful. But it all starts up front. We have 3 all-district kids returning, have an all-state kid returning, preseason All-American, Tatos Pili coming up, so it's going to be exciting.
How do you see the district race this year?
Very competitive. I've been talking all summer long, and I looked at some of the predictions, some of the magazines, some of the publications, and Martin is the big time. That's the bell cow. The Martin Warriors should have a very good football team, followed by my pick is Arlington Lamar, because there's 11 Division I football players there. You have one of the best best quarterbacks in the country, one of the best DBs in the country, one of the best O-linemen in the country.
You're going to put 9 in the box every play?
No, it's Bouchel, so we can't. That's the thing about it. You can't defend him. You can't say, okay, put 9 in the box, and he's going to kill you with his arm. Then you try to defend him by putting 8 DBs out there, then this massive offensive line is going to kill you with the 3 great running backs they have. So I like the Vikes and the Warriors to kind of hammer it out. And then there's Bowie, us, Arlington High. Watch for North Crowley, up and coming. Then Weatherford and Pascal. So I think there's 6 teams in my estimation. There are really 6 teams playing for the 4 spots.
Coach, a great start last year for Sam. You started out 3-0. Same non-district teams again this year?
Yes, it's Manor, week 1 here. And then North Mesquite, we travel to Mesquite. And then Kimball, we go to play in that Classico, the I-20 Classic at Kincaid Stadium. 3-0 start was good. Everybody expects a 3-0 start again, John. I'm telling everybody, North Mesquite is very good. Offensive tackle that decommitted from Oklahoma, talking about signing with Alabama. You have all these great guys. Manor has an LSU commit in Fowler, the linebacker. Dallas Kimball has 3 Division I guys on defense. It's going to be tough this time, but the expectation now is everybody wants 10-0. So, you give them 7-4, now they want 10-0. So it's going to be good. It's going to be exciting. Preseason is going to be very good, very demanding for us. It's going to be some great football. I encourage all the fans to come out. If you can watch the Texans on Friday night or the one Saturday game we have against Dallas Kimball, to come watch, and it's going to be fun.
Coach, it's a long season. At Sam Houston, what's the key to finishing strong this year?
We have to stay, it's going to be cliche-ish. I hate being cliche-ish, but we have to stay healthy, and we have to keep everyone eligible. If we can stay healthy, if our health stays in order, we have a pretty good chance to finish strong. Last year, because of what happened, we got off to a 3-0 start, then go 0-2 in district. Then we go 4 in a row to clinch that playoff spot in North Crowley. And the Lamar game was kind of like, hey, just throw it around a little bit. As in the NFL, we took it off to get ready for Odessa Permian. So same formula, nothing's changed. Stay healthy, win the games, and I've always said this, win the games you're supposed to win. All of them are tough, but we are favored in some of these ball games. Win the games you're favored in, and the rest of the schedule will take care of itself. And so I believe playing Martin tough last year has benefits, playing Bowie all the way down to the 1-point loss to going for 2, which people still give me a hard time about. But in that contest, in the open and district contest, that's our key. Stay healthy, stay eligible, and I think we have a shot.
Anthony, I know you can't wait for the season to begin. Good luck to the Texans.
Thank you, sir.
The Seguin Cougars getting ready to kick off the 2015 football season. Carlos Lynn guides Seguin. He's in year number 8. Cougars last year finished 6-4 and just missed out on the playoffs because of a tiebreaker. And I know that, rules are rules, but
Right.
Explain that end of the season last year.
Well, it came down to a play-in game between us and Lake Ridge. If we win the game, we're 5-2, and we go in, and we lose, we're 4-3, and Lake Ridge wins it on the head-to-head. So that's kind of how it goes, But it just tells you how tough our district is. We would have had to win 5 district ball games to get into the playoffs. So that just tells you about our district right there.
Carlos, what will it take for Seguin to be a playoff team this year?
It's going to take that same effort. We felt like we put ourselves in a position to be a playoff team last year, and we're just going to have to do that same thing. We're going to have to, get some quality wins in district and just put yourself in position. And that's all that you can ask your kids to do. I think we've got all the right pieces to the puzzle to get there, but of course you still got to get the work done.
You lost your quarterback, but you do have 8 offensive starters back.
Yes, sir. We should be pretty explosive offensively. We have some guys, they were young last year, first-time varsity guys, and they're matured now, have another offseason, another spring under their belt. So we're expecting some great things on the offense. Shouldn't be any excuse on offense this year.
At running back, you have Darian Hammonds. He's 6'1", weighs about 230, and I'm sure he's getting a lot of looks already.
Yes, he has about 7 Division I college offers right now, and he's the bell cow of our offense, really of our team. He plays a little defense as well. He can do a lot of different things. He probably catches better than anything else of his skill set. So he's a versatile kid, real smart heads-up player, and we're going to lean on him a lot.
All right, defensively in the middle, Cortland Clark had a ton of tackles last season.
You know, Cortland Clark, along with Sharif Thompson, first-team All-District middle linebacker, those guys are kind of the guys that are coming back. They're the glue to the defense. You know, we got to fill a lot of holes on defense. We're going to be young, but we're real talented. But we just got to make sure that the staff just has to make sure that we just put them in the right position to be successful. And I think we have enough talent to, to really be able to manage games. And as long as we don't make mistakes and stay disciplined on defense, we're going to be pretty good.
All right, what about Seguin's non-district schedule this year?
It's rough. We'll open up with West Mesquite. They were, preseason, in the area, top 10 team. Traditionally, I always have, 2 or 3 guys that are going to play Division I college football. So they're always tough. Coach Neal does a great job with them. We have Carlton Newman Smith, that we were a playoff team last year. It's going to be, we go to them this year play them on a Thursday, so that ought to be interesting. And then we play in the I-20 Classic against Dallas Carter on that Saturday, third Saturday. So should be pretty fun. A lot of tradition in that program.
All the Arlington schools once again will be playing at AT&T Stadium on a Friday and Saturday. You have the last game against Waxahachie, and hopefully people will stick around for that game.
Well, actually, it's been a change.
Was that change? Okay.
Yes, it's been a change. We have a 2 p.m. game on Friday with Waxahachie, so we're gonna open up the Classic. So our student body is particularly fired up because AISD has kind of granted us a half a day, so the kids can get an opportunity to go and support the football team. So we're awfully excited about that opportunity to go open up the Classic and lead off AISD hopefully with a W.
I say you laid out school at 10 o'clock.
I do too. I do too. Amen.
Coach, you mentioned the district, and for those that aren't familiar with District 14-5A, the teams are just hard to beat every year. Lancaster, Lake Ridge, and Mansfield Timberview. Summit, throw in Summit also.
No doubt, no doubt. And I'm gonna tell you what, Red Oak has our number. We beat them by 1 point last year, and they didn't win a district ball game. Each week is a war. Waxahachie is gonna be better. We know they got Coach Kidner. Change is blowing. The winds of change is blowing in Waxahachie, so they're gonna be fired up. Legacy is a playoff team before. Went three or four rounds. They didn't make it last year, but they've gone deep in the playoffs. So every week it's a war. Every week it's a battle, and it's made us better too. It's allowed us to be a little bit more tougher football team, and the standard is set so high. You got to play well every week. So it just, it helps us to be a better football team.
Carlos, appreciate the visit. Hopefully it'll be a super Cougar year.
I hope so too. Thank you.
Well, that's our look at the AISD high school football season coming up. If you can't be a face in the crowd, a lot of chances to catch a football game this year. We'll see you next time on Conversations.